Welcome to Snark Marks, everybody. We are a very funny podcast out of the Central Valley of California. I'm Andrew. That's Dusty.
Hey.
Last week, apparently, Dusty's microphone wasn't working. It was his laptop the whole time. So if you stuck with us, thanks.
Yeah, it doesn't tell me if there's a problem to troubleshoot.
Yeah, that's my job.
And I was like, you would think the program would be like, hey, there's a microphone plugged in here. Do you want to use that microphone, or do you want to use the speakers that come on this very cheap laptop?
Yeah.
But no, didn't do that.
No. But we figured it out. We persevered. Follow us on all of the stuff. We're at Snark Marks Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Dusty's at SnarkMarkD on Twitter. I'm at Andrew Idell on Instagram. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. We put the videos of all of our episodes on there. And on our Instagram, I've been throwing up a lot of clips, Dusty.
Oh, really?
Yeah, last week we got the clip of Dusty wearing a CPAP machine, which we will get an update on this week.
I was going to say, yeah, if you want to see me, if you've ever thought, what does Dusty look like if he were half Elephant Man, then last week was the answer.
And what does Andrew look like when he's the happiest he's ever been in his life?
Whenever true joy has entered his heart, what does Andrew look like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to hear the update on that. But Dusty, I got something I want to start with. And you texted me something. I want to hear that as well. But
yeah,
I got something I want to start with. We're releasing this on Cinco de Mayo. For the uninitiated, that's the 5th of May. We're from the Central Valley of California. Like I said, we're basically Mexican, aren't we, Dusty?
It is Mexico's land.
Yeah,
it was theirs first.
Yeah, and we can litigate that at some point. But I want to talk Mexican food.
Okay.
What's your favorite Mexican food? What are we working with? I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
I don't think that there's anything better than a really great taco.
Okay.
I mean, I get asada tacos. I like the street version of that. And I don't know the real version, like what it would be like in Mexico, but like the tacos we get here, there's nothing better to me than if you can find a truly great taco place. Put almost any kind of meat you want in there. Yeah. As long as it's got all the fixins, I'm there for it. Like I am non-exclusive. Like I'll go all over that menu. I'm ordering everything.
Yeah, there's almost nothing I don't like, man. So like they don't even go like there's certain things in Mexican because people see Mexican cuisine and they think spicy, but there's like most of it's not inherently spicy. You can get spicy things on it, but like most of it is very easily edible in terms of spice. And I'm with you on the tacos. I have had the tacos in Mexico. The good versions of what we have here taste about the same. They're very, very good. But I haven't had every taco in Mexico. I've only went to a very poor region of Mexico, who I'm sure makes very good tacos. They blew my little mind.
Probably better tacos. Probably the poorer the region, the better the taco.
I got held up by a little fat kid for $1. It was hilarious. He grabbed me by the neck from behind and was like, $1. Because I waved $1 in his face, and then he let go, and I walked away. I did not give him that $1, but yeah, the tacos are amazing. I've been liking. I had chicken ranchera recently, which damn, Dusty. I like myself a chili relleno.
I just ordered a chili relleno last week. I was like going through. Because where I live now, there's a whole plethora of options, right?
Yeah.
And so I was looking at the menu and I'm like, okay, well, I got to try the burrito at this place. But what if I don't like that burrito? That's a roll of the dice. Like, let me get this chili relleno also.
Oh, man.
But they do, I always grew up with the green, it's the chili relleno, but there was like a creme sauce, instead. Or crema sauce, yeah. And the other places that I've had it, I mean, either way. But the places I've been getting it recently, it's like a red sauce.
Yeah, I've only had it with the red sauce. I don't know which one is the most authentic one. But it's generally, I think actually, I think I actually looked this up. Authentically, it's generally like a tomato sauce. I've had it with mole sauce before, and I've had it with the tomato sauce. Oh boy, it is an inconsistent meal. Sometimes you get a bad one from like you get a restaurant that doesn't do it very well or something like that, but a good one, it's hard to beat, man. It's weird. You're having basically an enchilada omelet with a with a chili in the middle.
Yeah.
But I love chili relleno. I love enchiladas. Hot damn.
Yeah, really good enchiladas. Like the true merit of Mexican food is that like even the bad versions of it are pretty good.
Oh yeah.
You know, like even dog shit enchiladas are probably better than most things that you could get somewhere.
Yeah, it's insane. And so I like that. Chips and salsa, obviously a staple. It's the only thing I really like cilantro in. I'm that white, ladies and gentlemen.
I remember you had a big, before you had a podcast, you had a big rallying point against cilantro, but you had nowhere to make those feelings known.
It makes everything taste like cilantro. It's too strong. I don't need something that strong in my food. It's like putting a banana in a lunch pail. Everything tastes like banana now.
Yeah.
And but I understand I'm in the minority here. I don't like avocado either. Also in the minority on that. But I can do cilantro in salsa. I don't like it on anything else. I don't even want to see it, right?
Yeah.
I think I have that gene. I think I did the 23andMe, and if I remember, it said you probably don't like cilantro.
Yeah, because to some people it tastes like soap, I guess.
And I can see that. I don't think I fully have that, but I can see how it tastes like soap.
I just recently ordered from a new Mexican restaurant, place that I got the very burrito I told you that I inhaled about 10 minutes before this podcast. And they are doing something with their asada that I've never encountered before. It has like a smoky flavor to it, like it's almost barbecued in some way. Like I know asada meat is cooked or grilled meat in general, but they are like there's some extra layer of like smokiness to it that's delicious.
Oh wow, maybe they're doing it on a smoker. That might be a little gentrified. I'm not sure though.
It's possible, yeah. But it was blowing my mind. I got nachos from this place last week. First time because I really wanted nachos, and nachos are one of those things. It's really hard to get a restaurant that has really good nachos.
Really? I never order nachos. I just assume.
For me, and it's also maybe the construction of the nachos, because like stuff's going to get soggy.
Are you saying that you are an aficionado?
I'm a nacho muchacho. Okay.
All right.
I have a shirt that's being prepped right now. It's just a picture of me with 2 plates of nachos,
and it says nacho muchacho.
The nacho muchacho, yeah.
Oh man, you make that shirt. I buy that shirt. I buy that shirt, Dusty. No, I just want a picture of you with a sombrero on, and it says nacho muchacho.
Oh, see, but I won't put the sombrero on because offensive.
It's not a fuck. It's not.
Now it is.
No, it's not.
If I'm the nacho muchacho, I can't risk it, Andrew. I can't risk in these times being a man wearing.
God, that'd be funny if that's why you got fired from the bank. Mm-hmm. Oh man, a nacho muchacho shirt.
Didn't you hear Jerry Seinfeld said you can't do comedy anymore?
Listen, we can talk about that if you want. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
there's definitely a on the table nacho muchacho episode of Seinfeld. There has to be.
Yeah, one of that one.
Yeah, one of Kramer's schemes.
He likes nachos. He's a muchacho.
Yeah,
he's a nacho muchacho.
Jerry, what's the? So yeah, but nachos. The problem is some of your chips are gonna have they can't bear the weight of all the things that go on the nachos.
Yeah, it's important. You got to have a sturdy chip.
Yeah, the structural integrity of the chip is important, but also you don't put 10,000 things on the nachos. Like it doesn't have to be 50 toppings on the nachos.
Yeah,
you know, like just I just want meat, like some guac, some sour cream, like give me some like tomatoes
beans.
And stuff.
You gotta go with beans, dog. Gotta go with beans.
Yeah, you gotta have beans on it. And I realize these are all wet wet foods.
That's what I'm saying. You're getting up there in ingredients already. You're like,
Yeah.
listen, I want very simple nachos. I just want meat, cheese, beans, tomatoes, obviously some lettuce.
No, I don't want lettuce. Obviously not lettuce. That's lettuce, the ruiner of 7-layer dips, far and wide.
Oh yeah, do you want some soggy shredded lettuce? We've litigated shredded lettuce on this podcast.
I'll tell you the unsung hero on the Mexican. Like if I go to a Mexican restaurant, nothing sounds particularly good. Quesadilla will always will always do the job.
That's always like a good add-on for me.
Yeah.
I get something I like, something good, the main event, and then for one of the prelims, we get ourselves a quesadilla.
Yeah, you get an undercard quesadilla.
I saw a place that had quesadillas for like $16. I wanted to talk to the manager. Quesadillas are $8. You give me an $8 quesadilla that I add on to my meal. I'm not going to get a $16 quesadilla. They're great.
Yeah.
But I'm getting something else.
Again, too fancy your quesadilla. Like cheese tortilla or cheese tortilla meat. Those are the acceptable ingredients for your quesadilla.
And don't try to impress me with how many types of cheese are on this quesadilla.
Right.
I'm never like, oh man, I taste multiple types of cheese on this.
Is that Munster cheese that I taste?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, Monterey Jack and cheddar? Holy shit, what is this?
With bacon on it, there's it's a very simple philosophy, Hit me with like a thing, a ramekin for sauce dipping, for, give me some salsa, some sour
ramekin.
cream.
Is that a thing? Ramekin?
Yeah, I think ramekin's what it's called. The little guy.
I know what you're talking about. I didn't know it had a name. I figured it's salsa bowl.
I always called it little guy. Can I get a little guy of salsa real quick?
Can I get a little guy of salsa? That is what it's called. It's called a ramekin. Small bowl used for cooking and as a serving vessel.
Yeah.
Holy shit! All right, learned something today.
I'm full of information.
I don't remember when you said you called somebody a scamp, and I'm like, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, it's definitely a thing. And I we got in a real argument about it. Not like a mad argument at all, but like I was just like, no, you're fucking crazy. Nobody calls anything a scamp. And then I looked it up, and scamp is a thing.
I will tell you that for years, apparently, I have been calling what pirates do squashbuckling. And that is not the word.
That is not how you say that.
No.
Squashbuckling.
I don't know why. I thought it was SQ, like squash. Yeah, I don't know.
Like squash. Yeah, like a gourd of some sort.
It is swashbuckling.
It is swashbuckling
with a W.
Yeah. Big pirate guy over here.
My wife pointed that out to me because we were talking about the.
Oh man,
it's big L that day for me. Yeah.
You said squashbuckling.
I did, because we were talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers football team, their logo, and how I don't like the new logo, because the new logo is like a skull with crossbones, and it's like it's supposed to look all sleek and badass. But the old one looks like a dude from like a Errol Flynn movie, like an adventure novel, and he's just like a dude with a pirate hat, and he has like a knife in his teeth. And I was like, that guy looks like I was like, that guy looks like a squashbuckler. And she was like, I'm sorry, what? So.
Man, dude, I need you to just test out everything. Like, you can't say something in front of her for the first time. Say it in front of me, and I'll tell you if it's wrong, and then you workshop it, because she's got to sleep next to you.
Yeah, it's got to all be a podcast conversation.
I'm surprised she still puts up with it after the whole snoring situation, which I hope is rectified, and we'll get to that in a second. But squashbuckling. I'm surprised she didn't download Tinder immediately after she heard that.
Yeah, that was a big L that day, but I had to take it.
Yeah, it's very funny. So a scamp is a person, especially a child, who is mischievous in a likable or amusing way.
Yeah, like Dennis the Menace.
And then secondary, a wicked or worthless person, a rogue. So apparently, scamp can just be used for anything.
Yeah, it could describe Dennis the Menace and Jack Sparrow.
Yeah,
that is a word that could get many uses. That's an agile
and fucking
word.
Jigsaw.
Right. I don't know that anybody sees the crimes that Jigsaw commits. It's like, what a scamp, this guy.
I know, but what I'm saying is he is a wicked or worthless person and a rogue.
That, by definition, that's true. Yeah.
What a scamp! What a scamp that Jigsaw is.
What a lovable scamp that guy is.
The scamps love games.
It's true. They probably
That is something we all know about scamps.
Game and games a chance. They like them all because Jigsaw's. It's not just that he's out to get you. You do have a chance in this game.
Yeah, you can survive if you solve for me these riddles 3.
Right? Yeah. You just have to be willing to cut your own eye out, but then you're fine. But then fine.
You have to search for the key in this barrel of syringes.
Yeah. That's
most like of these are really gross.
Yeah. That's my favorite thing is the newer Saw movies. In particular the last 2, I think, Jigsaw and whatever the new one was. Like the things that he knows about the people that he's running the game on are impossible for him to know. Like unless he is a person with godlike omnipotent powers. Yeah. Because
did you say omnipotent?
Omnipotent, yeah.
It is omnipotent. We saved you from another one.
Thank you so much.
That's not as bad as Squashbuckler.
Yeah. Unless he is omnipresent.
There you go. See, there you go. You see how yeah.
Yeah. Because there's like one where he's like, you sold a dirt bike to a kid, but you knew that the brakes were failing on that dirt bike and you did nothing about it. And I'm like, well, how do you know that he knew? Like
that's the thing. I feel like Jigsaw, he goes after bad people. He's also a bad person. He's like a creep.
Yeah.
Does anybody Jigsaw? Is that the end of this? Is that how this series ends?
No, he's been dead. He's been dead for like 6 movies, but they keep bringing the guy back who plays Jigsaw, so they have to keep like prequeling more of it because he's been dead a long time.
Oh, so a lot of these are prequels?
Yeah, the new ones are like prequels or they're offshoots, or it's like, oh, this was the first time that he ran the Jigsaw game on everybody. Because you're like, he's been dead since like 2008.
I thought so, but I knew they kept making movies, so I figured they finagled their way out of that one. What if they did one where it was like he set up the whole shit and like recorded everything before he died for like one last score?
I think that's the 4th movie.
I figured they would.
So yeah, but like in the new ones, he's like presuming things that happen that he has no ability to have seen. He's like, you smothered your baby at night. I was your next door neighbor, and I know that that's what happened because I guess I just figured that's the main thing that happened. Like he has no evidence.
You thought to yourself, I shouldn't do this, but you did it anyway.
Exactly.
How the fuck
did he? He just knows. Oh man, like he could use his powers for so much more. No,
you wiped with your hand, didn't
you? You said you didn't double dip that chip, but you did. That was
both you and I know that you did.
And for that, you must play a game.
I'm trying to think what they would do for that. You must. He sews the person's eyeballs open, right, or cuts their eyelids off.
Yeah.
And they have to swim through really hot salsa to find the key.
I was going to say there's some sort of acid, and if you survive the first dip, then you come out and then you confess that that's what you did and you'll never do something unhygienic again. And then second dip, and if you still have legs, then you're free to go.
Do you want to play an entree?
But yeah, I agree. Bad guy.
Yeah, he's a scamp.
Yeah,
he's a scamp ass motherfucker.
Bad guy doing bad stuff. So I have to tell you what I texted you about earlier this week.
Do you want me to read the text?
I would like you to read the text. Yeah.
Okay. You said, hold on. I did something very embarrassing today. Can't wait to tell you about it on Thursday. And I said, yes. So excited.
Okay. So there's a little bit of a ramp up here, right, as there often is. Mm-hmm. It's about to get really hot where we live in the upcoming months.
Yeah, it's knocking on the door.
Yeah. So my wife and I decided, like, okay, what can we do to keep the house less hot and not have as high an electric bill in the summer? What if we bought like a grill, and then we can grill outside, so all the hot is outside, and then when we're sort of keeping the house cool. I want to get better at cooking. I think barbecuing is like a cool thing to do. I could see myself being into that. So like, okay, all of these
You're an
seem
American man.
right. I'm a homeowner now.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta have a grill. So we buy the grill, and at the same time at Lowe's, I buy a propane tank for this grill. Right, everything's great.
I love the props that are getting entered into this embarrassing story. We got a grill, we got a propane tank. So many funny opportunities in this.
I just kept thinking about the episode of The Simpsons where Homer tries to build the grill.
Yeah,
and
he drops the instructions into the cement, and he picks up the thing, and well, first of all, he can't build it, and he blames Lisa because he can't build. He's like, "Stupid Lisa,"
yeah,
and then he drops the he drops the instructions in the cement. And he picks up the instructions, and he can only see he's like, "Oh, I can only see the French instructions." Le grill, what the hell is that?
Yeah. And
it's one of the best lines ever.
Why does everything in my life have to be so hard? And he's like, so I get the grill home, but I decided not to have someone else build it. Because like then that requires a truck that we don't have to go pick it up if it's already assembled, right? But on that weekend, we're like, okay, it's already getting pretty late in the game. This grill building might take a little bit of time, right? So we were like, let's do that next weekend. So then the next weekend comes, we build the grill, and this is a mostly my wife situation because I'm not good at building things, which is fine. It's just not a thing that I'm very good at.
Like, I remember before this when I said you were an American man.
Look, I've reached an age where I don't want to have to pretend that I'm good at something I'm not good at. It's just not in my wheelhouse of things.
This wasn't the same day you said squashbuckling, is it?
No, these are different days.
Okay,
and I help obviously.
If you comboed those on top of each other,
right? What am I here for?
You're gone, dude.
Yeah,
she's out of here.
So, but like I'm out there, I'm helping, like
wearing a little sun hat.
Yeah, like but we build it, and that takes a while anyway because it's a pretty labor intensive situation, right? So we're like, okay, no grilling today, but next weekend, by God, we're gonna build the grill, or we're gonna grill on the grill that we've now built, right? So I spent the whole week being like watching videos. How do you prep the grill? What's the best way to put to season it? What's the best way to cook all these different things on a grill? Like I'm trying to get all the information I can get, right?
Be a grill daddy.
Yeah, be the best grill master I could be.
Yeah. Like Kobe Bryant, you're a grill dad.
Yeah. Again, if I don't get the Nacho Muchacho apron, I will get grill dad.
Oh man,
we
gotta make grill dad aprons. Hashtag grill dad.
I bet they do. 100%.
Oh, let me see. If those aren't being made, we have to not release this part of the podcast.
Trademarked. All of you are out.
Let me see. I see Grill Daddy. Dude, I don't think people are making. Oh, there's a couple of shitty logos. Hold on. There's a couple shitty logos, but I think we could do this. Look at how shitty all of this stuff is, by the way.
The Grill Father.
The Grill Father.
Obviously.
The Grill Dad.
Some sort of Batman related one.
The Grill, the Legend.
Oh, it's not bad.
Novelty crap is so bad.
What's the Lord the Grill? The Lord of the Grill. Okay.
Where's that? Oh my God.
Right there.
This is so bad. Sorry, people who aren't watching on YouTube. Yeah, you should watch on YouTube, okay?
Hey, could you do me a favor? Could you stand back? Dad's grilling. That's one of them. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I think we can make white aprons that just have hashtag grill dad on them.
I think that they need to be black because it gets like soot and so forth on it. right?
Nah, dude, we want to show our wear, dog.
Okay. Yeah,
Anyway,
because we're hashtag grill
we're
grill
grill
dads.
dads.
Yeah. Well, you think that I'm not? You thinking this thing's not getting dirty every weekend? I'm not out here.
I'm in the trenches.
Yeah. So
My wife built this thing for me.
yeah, my wife built that grill that I'm going to cook turkey burgers on. So watch out.
And I'm the grill dad. God damn it.
Yeah. So last Sunday, everything's ramped up. I've been thinking about this for days now. Okay, Sunday's the time. So I clean the grill, I prep the grill, I season the grill, do all the stuff that it says to do. The thing I am concerned about is the propane, because I have not dealt with propane and I'm afraid that I'm going to explode myself. Which I'm aware is not
as you are wont to do.
As I am wont to do, yes. A lot of people as dumb or dumber than me like use a grill perfectly fine. So, but I am concerned. So
there's a lot of real dumb grillers out there.
I look, and I might join their ranks. Who knows? I'm just saying, like, I I get the propane tank, I set it up, we've locked it in, and I'm getting ready to do the ignition, and I turn it, and nothing happens. And I'm like, okay. So then I wait like 5 seconds. I go to turn it again. We got nothing. If you will recall, I bought a propane tank from Lowe's the day that I bought the grill. Turns out, when I looked at my receipt,
yeah.
You want to take a guess as to what the possibility is?
No, go ahead, because I might be wrong.
They don't sell propane tanks with propane in them. They sell you the tank.
Yep.
That is empty. And then you have to put propane in it.
Yeah.
They didn't tell me that. So I've been walking around with an empty propane tank for like a month, and also being very concerned about, where do I store this propane tank? How do I make sure this thing doesn't explode? Wouldn't have mattered. I could have put it in
metal tank.
Just a
you could have shot bullets at it, probably.
Yeah, I could have put it in the mouth of a shark and shot it, and nothing would have happened.
See, I was at first I was like, oh shit, he bought like an electric grill.
And I was like, they didn't tell me when I bought it. And then I went and looked at the one that I bought online, and it very clearly says empty tank.
There's no propane. There's no propane in it.
And I was like, sick. Awesome. So then I was just, I kept the thing I'm most angry about is every time I pick up this propane tank, there was a part of my brain that was like, this thing's pretty light. And I just somehow was like, well, propane's like a gas. It's probably not heavy.
The lightness wouldn't have thrown me off.
It's probably fine.
Yeah. Well, initially, because I've worked with propane tanks before. They get heavy as shit when they're full. But it wouldn't have thrown me off before
I would have just liked if the person from Lowe's had given me hey, just an FYI. In case you don't read everything.
There'll probably be a bunch of guys who are like, yeah, I know. Okay.
Right.
Rocks. I'm a grill dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not, and it was a lady who helped me. So she's probably already dealing with, she doesn't want to tell some dude that thinks he knows everything. But I don't. My wife built this grill. Tell me that there's no propane in this tank. That's what I need to know.
So have you since rectified the situation?
As of this morning, there is propane in the propane tank. And I have to tell you, it's heavy as shit. It's so heavy.
They get very heavy with
I like, as soon as I went to pick it up once it was full of propane, I was like, oh, of course. Why? Why wouldn't it be this heavy? Why wouldn't that be the clear indication that there's propane in this thing? So tomorrow, finally, I believe, is the debut of hashtag Grill Dad. Gonna do some burgers, gonna do some dogs. Might do some vegetables. It has an auxiliary burner.
Word.
Yeah.
Look at you.
So I can, like, So I can make like some veggies over there on that
Yeah.
guy. You know.
Yeah, you should, dude. Make some kebabs with some
Yeah.
some nice little onions and
Yeah. Like because
some
I
squash.
have a cast iron pan that I think would be perfect for this situation.
Okay.
Like and so I'm excited because I wanna get to. I'm scared of like tri-tips and like bigger cuts of meat and chicken that I haven't grilled before.
Do you have a meat thermometer?
I do have a meat thermometer.
Oh, you're
Uh,
fine.
well, not
Is
afraid
long?
like that they won't cook, just that I won't do it right somehow.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Okay.
like
I thought you were worried about contamination
I've
or something.
never cooked a tri-tip like on a barbecue grill, and
Yeah.
so like that gives me some concern.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited to give it the old college try. But I think burgers and hot dogs and so forth are the order of the day for tomorrow.
That's
So,
probably a good one to start with.
yeah.
It's probably a good one to start with, and then you graduate on up to more expensive meats. You
Yeah.
know, like you don't want to throw a steak on there and you've willy nilly. You've never done it before.
Right. Well, and I but I felt like such an idiot last Sunday whenever like cuz I'm trying to stand back, you know, I'm trying to make sure that the thing doesn't explode. Empty.
Completely.
0% chance that anything would have happened. And I was so
Uh,
utterly defeated that I was just like, I will just order pizza. Pizza will be what is for for dinner on
Your
this
arms are
evening.
like hanging out in front, and you're just sulking. It's gonna
Yeah,
be okay, buddy. I don't know. I wanted
I'm
burgers and
wearing my
dogs.
grill dad apron while I'm eating my pizza. Just utterly defeated.
Oh fuck. Well, I'm glad you got a grill. I'm about to bust out my communal grill at my apartment. I'm actually probably today gonna go over and see if it's open yet because the communal grill at my apartment complex, they got big ass grills, and I was gonna go cook there a few weeks ago, and it was closed because the pool was closed, and it's right by the pool. And
Ah,
it's like these things are independent of each other.
right.
I don't know what.
Look,
Why does
nobody's
something
grilling if
being
they're not swimming, dude.
Yeah, that's such a
Yeah.
dumb like. I just want a barbecue. You guys don't allow me to have a grill of my own because I might burn the shit down. Which, to be fair, I might burn the shit
Yeah.
down. But it's like at least let me in there to cook. I promise I won't get in the pool. How about that? It's 40 degrees outside.
Yeah. I mean, you're lucky, at least in my estimation, because you have someone under the learning tree that you can learn from as far as grilling, because your dad makes great barbecue grilled food.
Yeah, he does. He
Uh,
does. I will be mentored by a true grill dad.
one of the
But
greats, yeah.
yeah, but he he was here when I was going to do that. He was so bummed, and then I made everybody stir fry because I was like, oh, well, what can I make like really
Right.
fast?
I've got soups. I've got stir fry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna get on the grilling machine on the grilling train. We can be those old men who share pictures of their meats back and forth.
Look, dude, nothing has brought me greater joy. Truly, like whenever I nail it and I'm
Oh yeah.
cooking something, nothing feels better to me than that.
Oh yeah.
From going from only eating microwave burritos to now
Mm-hmm.
making food and like being able to follow a recipe and stuff. What mountains I've climbed, you know.
Yeah, and it's not like horse shit food. You know what I mean?
Right, and my main fear, I don't know that if you get this. My main thing is like I'll pretty much eat anything. Like
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't bother me. So if I make something like or I want to make something for me, even if it turns out bad or not particularly tasty or whatever, I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I will still eat it.
Yeah.
But like cooking for other people gives me anxiety because I'm like, what if this isn't good? Slash, what if I didn't do this right and now people are going to get sick? Like
Yeah.
cooking for other people is a level of stress that like I'm not used to.
I'm always more careful and meticulous when I cook for other people. With me, when I'm cooking just for myself, I get a little more experimental.
Right.
I don't measure everything as perfectly unless I really think I need to. But with people, I am very planned out. I am very careful with timing of everything and making sure that everything's ready to go. I portion out all of my ingredients beforehand in separate little tiny bowls, and because I have it ready. Because the worst thing is when something's about to the point where it's time to add the other thing, but you haven't gotten the other thing out of the can yet,
Right, you
or
haven't
you haven't.
prepped it at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like when I make stuff with like fried rice and stuff, and then like or not even fried rice, because fried rice you use day old rice. So we'll go back to stir fry. When I make stir fry, all the ingredients are almost done. Then I realize, oh shit, I didn't even make the rice. So I'm like trying to get the rice cooker ready,
Yeah.
and like my veggies are burning. Like,
that's the hardest thing for me to get used to, is getting in front of the next thing that needs to be happening when I'm
yeah,
cooking, because like I only think of it as one step at a time. Like I maybe because I build up everything as being wildly important, so I'm like, okay, thank God that one part is now going, and it's
yeah,
like, oh, by now you should have, like you said, I should have cut everything beforehand, before I even turned the oven on
oh yeah,
to put stuff in the
yeah, yeah.
pan. I should have cut everything up and had it ready to go and seasoned and everything. But it's like now I'm trying to cut this bell pepper while the other stuff is cooking, and it's like that stuff's going to be overdone by the time I get this bell pepper in here. To
Mm-hmm.
like, and it's not
That's what I'm
gonna.
saying. Read the entire recipe
Yeah.
first, and then prep everything first. Have all the veggies cut. Have all the. I even like portion the seasonings out, because a lot of it's like, put all the seasonings in at once. It's like once this thing starts boiling, then you add your thyme and your salt and your pepper and all this stuff. So you put all that stuff in one bowl, and then as soon as it's time to throw the seasonings on, you just pour that shit right in.
Yeah.
And it's made things so much better, because there's been a lot of times when, what did I make recently? Oh, I made ratatouille recently.
Oh, was there a little
I
mouse on top of your head controlling your
no,
controlling your movements?
no, I got a cat.
Oh,
Okay,
right, yeah.
that mouse stands no chance.
Yeah.
Okay,
That cute little mouse is dead as shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I was like playing a video game, and the thing this isn't the typical way to make ratatouille, but the way that I make it is, you get, because ratatouille is like a bunch of vegetables that you put in with tomato paste and seasonings and stuff, and that kind of, there's not really a sauce. It's just that with olive oil.
Mm-hmm.
And what I do is I incorporate everything. I there's like onions and squash and cherry tomatoes. I think, is there squash? I can't remember. Cherry tomatoes, eggplant, and you cut it all up. You put it on a cookie sheet. Well, you cut it all up, and then you combine it with the olive oil, tomato paste, herbs, spices, all that stuff. Combine it, put it on a cookie sheet, bake it for a while. Separately make the noodles, put everything together. That's what you do.
Okay.
And I was playing video games, and I got sidetracked, and I overcooked my vegetables.
Yeah.
I still ate it, but it would have been so much better had I not done that.
And you can feel it, right? You're like, oh man.
Oh yeah, I knew.
Yeah. Well,
But I really let the team down if I walk away right now to tend to my ratatouille.
right. And how are you going to tell the rest of those dudes that are on your team I have to go look after my vegetable mixture right now.
Yeah, peace out, losers.
Yeah. I'm making ratatouille for one. Leave me alone.
Yeah, for two, I'm getting my ass up, and I'm not playing the video game.
Right.
Somebody's at my house. But yeah, it was unfortunate, but it was still pretty good.
Yeah,
still pretty good.
I've tried to make a couple of like next level moves with my preparation. So now I have my avocado oil that I use because I use cast iron pans a lot, and avocado oil has a higher smoke point. It has like the highest smoke point. But I've taken it out of the bottle it's in, and I put it in like a spray bottle so that I can like.
Oh yeah, I've got one of those.
Like spray it down.
I never used it though.
And I feel like that's a good move. That's like trying to up my game you know.
Yeah, I want to switch it over. I want to switch mine over to like the squeeze bottles that people put like ketchup and mustard in.
Yeah, I was looking for squeeze bottles because I think squeeze bottle was what I was imagining, and I ended up with a squirt bottle, and the squirt bottle's fine, but it's like a little more. It's not as quick.
Yeah, it's a mist instead of a little pour.
Yeah, but even still, you know, then I can on the grill if I want to mist some more oil on, then I can do that.
Le grill
on Le Grill. I'll send you pictures of what I make tomorrow. So
hold on. I've got that clip. Yes, I do want to see pictures.
Yeah.
I'll and then we can recap next week. Hopefully I turn the sound on. I can't even hear that. Hold on. Sorry guys, trying to play Homer Simpson. All you out there. I do have the audio shared. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's a fine looking. Oh! Okay, no big deal. Stupid Lisa! She gotta build fast. Cement drying. All right, let's see. English side ruined. Must use French instructions. Le grill? What the hell is that? Oh, come here. Come on, fit. You.
All right, we can't watch the whole thing. I just wanted to hear Le Grill. What the hell is that?
And then there's a perfect cutaway to the perfect looking grill with all the brick and everything. And he goes, "Man, that's a nice looking grill." And then he goes, "Why doesn't mine look like that?" And it's the mess or what?
Yeah, because he's like looking at the box.
Yeah, he's looking at the. And then I think Marge asks Bart, he's like, is your father done? And he's yelling, and as he takes the umbrella and stabs the thing, and then the umbrella pops open, and he goes, "Yeah, he's done." Very good. Le Grill, what the hell is that?
It's just Le Grill. What the hell is that? Is one of the best lines. You know what? No, never mind. I was going to make a declaration that I did not have the authority to make, Dusty. So, we have one more. We have one more Dusty-centric thing. To me, this is the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Dusty.
Yeah.
How you been sleeping?
I have been sleeping much better.
Really?
I am feeling more rested. Yes. But there is a point each and every night where I'm like, I have to take this goddamn mask off of my face because it's been too long. But I have to keep it on a minimum of 4 hours a night to stay within the regulations of my prescription that I have for it. Mm-hmm. And so I think the longest I've made is like 6 and something hours. But and I've kind of figured out how to sleep with it on in a way that like is good for me, because like I can't sleep on my back. I'd be a terrible vampire. Like I can't just sleep flat on my back, which is like one of the ways that they suggest that you do it.
Yeah, I really struggle to sleep on my back.
Yeah, I can't do it. And so like I figured out how to sleep on my side with the thing on, but there's just like I've tried a lot of different things. There's just air buildup that like builds up in my stomach and my chest. And like I wake up at a certain point and it's very uncomfortable. And so I have to like take the mask off to like be able, like, essentially I do Homer Simpson burps at like 4:00 in the morning every morning that rattle the very foundation of my house. But then I feel better, you know. But it's like I don't know how to not have it do that, because I read about it and they're like, yeah, that's just a thing that happens.
Say it gets better or no?
No, I guess maybe they could lower the pressure on my machine, but I have an appointment.
Your shit's broken,
right? But I have an appointment coming up this week with a sleep apnea specific doctor. So I might throw some questions his way and be like, "Hey, doc, is there a way?" Because like it gets really uncomfortable. It's like you don't drink a lot of soda, but I'm sure this has happened to you, where you drink like a thing of soda way too fast, and then it just feels like stuck in your chest, like a pressure buildup.
Yeah, I mean that's my whole life, Dusty. I don't drink
Right.
soda, but that's
But then
you have to understand.
yeah. And
You've heard how much I burp.
and then you have to like get rid of it. So I don't know how to make that better, but I have noticed that like I'm not as tired as I normally feel or have felt previously.
See, that's huge because you're not fully used to this thing yet, and you already feel better than you did before.
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
Well, and I've
as much as I make fun of you for having to sleep with a Bane mask on, like I want you to get relief from this because I'm sure it sucks ass to sleep the way that you slept before. Well, it was crazy what you used to do to sleep, Dusty.
But to me, and I'm being honest, like it never bothered me. I know that I was cognitive of. I'm aware that they're like that the bit of that it was negative what was happening, but like it didn't affect. It wasn't like I was waking up every 20 minutes that I could tell. Like if you asked me if I still lived alone and no one had ever told me about it, I'd just be like, oh yeah, no, I sleep great, like a log, 7-8 hours, awesome. Yeah. But I'm aware that's not the case.
Yeah, when I told you, I was like, dude, you wake up like 100 times a night. Like, and I only heard you because I was able to fall asleep. So it wasn't like you kept me up all night, but I heard you wake yourself up a couple times when you can hear, and it's always almost the same thing when a snorer wakes themselves up. It's like,
yeah,
you hear them smack a little bit and then they're right back to sleep because I think it's because sleep. How dry did your mouth get at night?
It depended, like, but and not it doesn't happen now. So
yeah, that's the thing. When we used to like when I have a stuffy nose.
Yeah.
And I can't breathe through my nose at all, and I have to breathe through my mouth at night. My mouth gets drier than I could say something gross. My mouth gets drier than the desert.
Sure.
Let's take care of people here, okay?
Yeah.
It gets so dry if I have to sleep with my mouth open. I can't. Maybe your glands make up for it.
Right. An evolutionary change had to happen. I had to adapt. But now, like, because I used to go to the movies on Saturdays, and like the first movie, if I went early, I'd be falling asleep in the movie. There'd be like points in time where it was hard for me to stay awake, or like at work in the afternoon, I would start to like nod off a little bit, and that hasn't been happening. So I think it's like, even if I'm not getting as many hours of sleep, the quality of the sleep that I'm getting while I'm wearing the apnea mask is better than the quality of sleep I was getting before. So if I could just solve the gas problem, the buildup of gas in my chest, then like I think things would be gravy trained. I just
Yeah, that's really tough.
Yeah,
but I think, does it hurt, or is it just like
no?
You wake up, you got like, some pressure, and then you burp like crazy?
No, it's like there's discomfort, like because I try not to take the mask off, because I don't want to like I also don't want to start waking up, because it's still hard to like find a comfortable position to get to sleep, but that seems to be getting easier,
You'll get used to. I'm sure if you or I forced ourselves to fall asleep on our back for a while, we'd eventually get used to it, and that's where. But what happens is our body gets used to certain. But like, I guarantee there is a way that how they did the sleep study on you. I'm sure you had like brain imaging, like the brain scan things going on, right? You had like things on your head and shit.
Yeah.
I guarantee there's a way that they can tell when you are in the sleeping position that you normally sleep in. I bet things change in your brain when it's like, oh, it's time to go to sleep because I'm laying like this now.
Yeah.
I bet you can train yourself in that way.
Well, and like sometimes when you can't get to sleep, like if you've been laying down for a while, like then your body is like, oh, I guess we're not going to sleep. So it doesn't start the the like wind down process,
Yeah.
and so like I've learned all kinds of tricks over the years, like you're supposed to blink your eyes really fast because that's supposed to like trick your brain
I've heard
into,
that one before.
into thinking like, oh, we're going into REM sleep or whatever, But yeah, it's been going good. It is a ongoing experiment. The daily cleaning of the mask and the little chamber that the water goes into for the sleep apnea machine is very annoying. I wish that wasn't part of it, but I'm aware.
Can you put it in a dishwasher?
I don't know, because not all of it's plastic. Like it's plastic, but they're different types of plastic, and it's like I only have to.
You don't want it. You definitely don't want it to warp.
Yeah, and like I only have to hand wash it. It's just like every day, it's part of the routine. And
listen, if you would have just fucking learned how to breathe,
that's we all have our cross to bear. If you could just
that is true.
Have not had your stomach flip upside down,
that is true.
That
would have been sick.
Yeah,
I can't believe I didn't think of that.
Yeah. Why didn't you just not? Would have been much better for you.
So Dusty, this is an all Dusty episode.
Apparently so far.
Today, you went and saw a movie.
I did. Well, I went to be accurate. I went and saw 2 movies, but I think we're talking about the one movie.
What's the other movie?
I went and saw The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
How was that? Give it a out of 10.
7.
Okay, it's better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I really don't want to talk about that movie. So
no, we don't have to. I just for the sake of transparency,
Yeah, for sure. You went and saw a cult classic.
Yeah, right? little underground film.
The little movie that could. Dusty today went to the theater and saw Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
I did indeed.
This is pod racing.
Yeah, it is and it was.
How'd it go?
Well,
how long's it been since you've seen the movie?
They put it out because it's the 25th anniversary of Episode 1.
God damn, is it really?
Yeah.
Yuck.
19
I was yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay.
1999.
Wow.
It is also if you couldn't put it together, May the 4th as we record. So of course it's Star Wars Day for
I'm sick of that. You know what I mean?
Look, that's what people are into.
It's my sister's birthday.
Yeah, that's why I celebrate it. It's because it's your sister's birthday.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
If it came out 25 years ago, I probably haven't watched it in 23 years.
Fuck. Yeah, that's probably, it's been a long time for me too.
Because I don't revisit the prequels. Like, I haven't rewatched any of the like, I remember vividly going to the movies to watch Star Wars Episode 1. Like, so I know I saw it in the theater. And I had Lon John Silver's that day, so the best day of my life up to that point, probably. At least
Dusty, you're still the only person in the world who likes Long John Silver's.
Can't be true. They've got many locations, over 500 locations.
They're drug fronts.
Yeah. So at least going in, 1999 me, at least going into the movie theater, I'm getting to watch the new Star Wars. I had some Lon John Silver's. This might be the best day I've ever had. Coming out of the theater, probably a different experience, because I remember being very disappointed by Star Wars Episode 1.
I was 8 years old when this movie came out, and little Anakin Skywalker was the coolest kid that ever lived for me.
Yeah. So I saw that they were playing it today, and I was like, is it worth it to go to this movie for what is essentially the lightsaber fight at the end? Like, I think that's the reason to go, because I know that that's dope.
I think the reason to go is to give it another chance.
Also possible. Yeah.
I think the reason to go is to watch it and go, okay, historical context aside,
right?
I'm no longer, because you were what? How old are you? 7 years older than me? 6 years older than me?
Yeah. So I was, depending on what.
It was May of 99.
Yeah, so May of 99, I am 14.
Oh, so you're 14. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. 6 years older than me. So, that's 14. You're getting out of young enough to think Anakin's cool.
Yeah.
So like you were supposed to kind of not like that movie. 14's borderline though, but you were probably a movie snob at that point already.
I think I was heading my way towards it.
Okay.
And so yeah, of course. And so I was like, okay, let me see. Is this movie like actually any good? Or like, has my opinion been like that it's bad? Is it just because of consensus opinion? Let me go in and check it out. They got me today, Andrew, because I bought a Star Wars Episode 1 commemorative cup.
See, Dusty, you're
look at how cool this cup is.
I know, but like I miss
look at how cool this cup is.
I miss poor Dusty. This has got a promotion, Dusty.
It's Darth Maul, motherfucker. Look at his eyes. They're in the back of the poster. He's the Phantom Menace. You see?
You son of a bitch.
That's why he's in the background. It's a Phantom Menace.
How much was that cup?
It's $10. And it came with 44 ounces of soda that I did not need to drink, certainly.
It's because we talked about earlier, you got like extra food because you didn't know if you'd like your main course at the Mexican restaurant. And now you're buying commemorative cups. I don't like disposable income Dusty.
Look at it.
This is going to be worth $4.95 on eBay in 20 years.
25th anniversary. Every saga has a beginning, Andrew. Look at him. It's dope.
Listen, that's
well, because they don't get me at the movie theater. They don't get me with any of that shit. There's like one for the new Ghostbusters. That's like it's a popcorn bucket that looks like the thing that they use to catch the ghosts, the little pedal thing. And I'm like, oh, that's that's a cool novelty idea, but like, what am I ever gonna do with that? And then there's the Dune popcorn bucket. I don't know if you saw the hullabaloo about that.
Just a bunch of pervs.
Yeah.
That was I don't buy commemorative anything ever. Right. I don't need that shit at my house. I'm not but out of the things that you've listed so far, you got the least offensive thing.
Right. And then there's a Dune cup that's just like the stars of Dune on it, but I saw the person in front of me and I was going to buy my movie ticket and then get a small drink for free because I have points on my Regal thing. And then I saw this cup and I was like, okay, like that's pretty cool. I still have earnestly no idea what to do with it now. Like, I guess I'll drink water out of my giant Star Wars cup in the future. But because they run a promotion at the movie theater where if you buy one of these novelty things or the novelty pair of things, then your refills you can keep bringing it back to the theater, and then you get cheaper refills on drinks and popcorn.
So are you're gonna carry your Star Wars cup?
No, the Star Wars cup not eligible. Because I asked.
Suck it, Godwin.
Yeah, so I was like, because if I'm not buying one of those things because I don't need that much stuff at the movie theater anyway. That's an absurd amount of liquid, and so. But I was
a lot. Did you finish the soda?
Of course I did. It's a 2.5 hour movie. So
he's got an iron stomach.
But I asked them, like, is this eligible for the refill, whatever program? And they were like, oh, you get one free refill with it during the movie. And I was like, there's no way that I'm going to drink 88 ounces of Dr. Pepper in the 2 hours that this movie is. Like,
is that what you went with, DP?
No, I went with Pepsi.
Pepsi,
yeah,
okay.
Just
Pepsi products. See, I'm one of those guys. I go Dr. Pepper with Pepsi products, but Coke, I go Coke.
Yeah, I was just like, I always get nervous because they're like, "What do you want to drink?" And I just look at the thing, and Pepsi was like the first thing I saw.
Yeah.
All right, give me.
I get
like,
nervous.
I definitely don't want 44 ounces of Mountain Dew. I'll tell you that for
I want
free.
44 ounces of freedom.
Yeah. So, all of that to say, the cup's the best part of that experience because Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, bad movie.
Really?
It's a bad movie.
That stinks.
It-
I've never had a bad experience watching the movie because I haven't watched it since I was like 10.
Yeah, I just like. I don't know, like
His midi-chlorians were off the scale, Dusty.
yeah, I just don't care. I don't like it's maybe the beginning of the movies that are answering questions that I don't, or that are providing answers to questions I don't have. How Darth Vader
Yeah.
become Darth Vader? I don't care. There's almost no way that story is cool, is cool enough for what Darth Vader is. Like, he's better. All of these characters are better the more mysterious they are. Why is he a crazy robot man? Who cares? Like, what
about Jar Jar? How's Jar Jar doing?
It's bad, man.
It's bad.
It's so weird because he just shows up. Like, they go to the and it's like a lot of talk. Like, I guess the old Star Wars is maybe like this, but I have people had such affection for it. But it's like they start somewhere, and then they're like, "Oh, we can't go where we're supposed to go. Let's land on this planet." But they're talking about it like I already know what all the stuff is, but I don't know what all the stuff is. So they like they're on Jar Jar's planet, and he's just in the way of Qui-Gon while he's trying to run away, and then he jumps into Qui-Gon's arms, nearly kills him, and then he's like, "Oh, Misa Jar Jar Binks," and then he's just in the movie, and it's like, who is this dude? Where did he come from? Why is he important? He doesn't seem to matter, and I want to be very clear because the guy who played Jar Jar got a lot of hate for many, many years. Unnecessary hate, nerds. Leave Jar Jar Binks actor alone. It is not his fault.
Yeah, imagine like going after the guy who played Jar Jar.
Oh, hard. Like, to the point, I believe he talked about wanting to like end his life because there was so much hate. The same thing happened in the new movies to one of the female characters. People were so mad at Rose in the new Star Wars movies that like they cut her out of the third movie because there was so much.
The little Asian girl.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
Okay, if you don't like the character, that's fine. That's one thing. Jar Jar Binks is like, he's not a great character. He's very annoying, and I feel like he was created just to sell Jar Jar Binks related toys.
I had a Jar Jar shirt.
Yeah, but the guy is just doing the best he can. George Lucas wrote all that stuff. That guy's just doing the best he can with what he's got. And what are you going to do? Say no to being in Star Wars?
Don't get genuinely mad about a movie.
Right.
How about that?
Also, to the greater point, I suppose. Yeah, like
unless they make it an all-girl cast.
It's fine to point out that you were not entertained and to have critiques, but to be mad at somebody like they're like they ruined it for me. Now Star Wars
ruined.
Yeah. Now Star Wars is ruined because of this. So it's just like, I just don't think the plot is very interesting. It's all about like a trade federation and there's an embargo on the planet that Queen Amidala is from, and then they end up on the planet where the pod racing happens. And the pod racing is cool, but it doesn't look very good 25 years on. That's not the movie's fault, but it's just like, you can tell, it was probably great for the time that it happened.
It blew my mind.
Yeah, but the lightsaber duel at the end is still dope as hell. And Darth Maul is a very cool character design. He's hella sick. And the music at the end, dun 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 dun, while they're doing the lightsaber fight, still awesome. So like, it has merits. It's not the best of the prequel movies. I think the third movie is probably the best movie, but like, it was fine to go see it. Got a cool cup. Like, it's all I'm asking for.
I'm glad you got that cup,
Yeah.
cup, Dusty. I'm looking at a little bit of pod racing. It looks worse on the stream than it does on the YouTube. But yeah, it looks a little cartoony. Oh yeah, that doesn't look very good. Some of it looks good though for $19.99.
Yeah, it's like you can't, you have to look at it through that's the best they could do then, and certainly they were doing they had the best people working on it, like.
Oh yeah, how much did this movie cost to make? Did you look it up?
I can look.
Guess?
I can give you all that real quick. One of the funny things about it is that Lucas self-financed these movies basically by selling the toy rights. I think Jacob's probably yelling at the screen if I'm wrong, but
oh yeah, Jacob's.
He basically sold the toy rights to be able to make the movie, so the movies are independently financed. So Lucas made a boatload of load of money off of them.
A boatload.
A boatload.
I've got the budget in front of me.
Okay.
$115 million it cost to make this movie.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess the box office?
Well, I think we're looking at the same Wikipedia. Made $1 billion.
$billion.
A cool $1 billion for a movie.
This movie made $1 billion.
Like a movie that people, by and large, do not like.
Kids loved it, man.
Yeah, and it's for kids. That's the other thing. Is it's not for me. It's like being mad at the newer Ninja Turtle movies, where I'm like, oh man, they made them all cartoony and whatever. It's like, well, yeah, it's for children. The fact that I also enjoy it is fine, but they're not trying to serve. I'm not going and buying the toys, so they're not after me. I might buy
some adults are buying the toys.
That's
Shout
true.
out to Jacob.
I might buy a commemorative cup or two.
Attack of the Clones budget $115 million. You want to guess how much that made?
I'm guessing Cool Billy.
$653 million. Considerably less money.
Okay.
Let's go to
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. Let me see. I just had it up. Revenge of the Sith. Budget $113 million.
Okay.
So less. Box office. You want to guess?
Oh man, $850 million.
It's a really good guess, Dusty. $868 million. You're up by $18 million. That's a really good guess. So why would you think that number 3 made more money than number 2?
Because it's the conclusion of the trilogy.
Yeah.
It
might be people's last chance because they didn't know. It might be their last chance to see a Star Wars movie in the theater.
Yeah, and it's like the reveal. You get to finally see Darth Vader. Probably, it ties the bow on that. Like the second movie, probably also it suffers from being the second movie of 3. People know they're not getting any sort of conclusion, and
it's the middle child.
Yeah, and it was the one that was promoted as being the love story. Also, Attack of the Clones is a terrible name for a movie.
Send in the clowns.
Yeah, like the Phantom Menace. You're like, oh shit,
that's a sick name.
What is this?
It really is a sick name.
And then Revenge of the Sith. You're like, well, I gotta check out what the Revenge of the Sith is. But the Empire Strikes Back is such a dope name.
Yeah.
For the second Star Wars movie.
All of them. A New Hope is a cool name. Return of the Jedi is a sick name.
Yeah, but Attack of the Clones is it's promising something that was in the comics and it talked about in the old movies, the Clone War or whatever, but it doesn't have anything. It doesn't tell you anything centrally about the main characters. It's just
the clones be attacking.
Yeah, sometimes
I liked. See, when I was a kid, I liked Attack of the Clones when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I probably saw Revenge of the Sith, but I was out by then. I was 15. I was 14. I didn't really care that much.
Yeah, I really felt sort of an obligation for Revenge of the Sith, where it's like, well, yeah, I guess I gotta see sure. I gotta see how the Sith gets his revenge, and I think that's the best movie because it's closing out the chapters of it, and you get the fight on the lava planet. That's pretty cool. The funny thing is, I was looking again when I watched it today, and it's there's a lot of Like the it's funny to think of the Sith as being like very brand conscious, but like whenever Darth Maul's ship lands on the planet that they're on for his like first attack, the whole inside of his ship when the bridge opens, it's all red, just like him. And it's like, is that the best lighting for this spaceship, or was he just like, I'm red, the ship's got to be red? It's
Listen, you got to be boss sometimes.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, if you got to pay the cost to be the boss, and sometimes you'll sacrifice a little bit of convenience for some aesthetic. You know, it's like high heels.
Yeah, right. You're looking for an aesthetic, and then they show, because this movie also was like, at the time there hadn't been a new Star Wars movie since 1983, right? So people are fucking jacked for for new Star Wars stuff because it had come back like like in the 90s, because there had been comics and offshoot novels and video games and stuff. So like, and they had re-released the original trilogy with new, better effects, and so people were like ready to go. And so the movie also has some fan service where it's like, oh, here's Jabba the Hutt. Like he's just on he's on the planet because he's the planet that they live on is owned by Hutts. Tatooine is controlled by the Hutts. But one of the funny things is Jabba the Hutt has another lady in the gold bikini that Leia wears in the Empire Strikes Back. There's just a different lady in the gold bikini.
The man knows what he likes.
Yeah, which is like revealing the Jabba the Hutt kink, which is sort of weird to think about, where it's just like, whoever's his lady, that person's wearing the gold bikini for sure. Like he sort of reverse engineered that.
Maybe he's just chasing the Leia dragon.
Well, this is before.
Like she got him. Oh yeah, this is a prequel.
Yeah.
Never mind. I suck with prequels, dog. I suck with just being like, no, that was the early times.
Right.
This new movie's the early times.
Yeah.
I'm like, those people know each other. They're like, no, they've never met before. This is an early movie.
Well, and then like there were a lot of things where it was funny, where it's like, so in this movie they want to tie in like, oh, C-3PO and R2-D2 are in the prequels also. But then they're like, well, why doesn't Obi-Wan Kenobi remember these droids that he clearly spent a lot of time with in the past in the the New Hope and all of that? Like he's never like, oh shit, you're the same droid. Remember we fought in the Clone Wars together? Like that never happens. And they like, so then they have to
they have a handshake.
Yeah, you son of a bitch, and then they shake hands like in Predator.
Dylan.
But yeah, it was fine, but it wasn't like I didn't watch it and then go like, oh shit, I've been wrong about the Phantom Menace, the whole time. It was like
that bums me out. I wish you would have seen it and been like, you know what, I had a really good time.
Yeah, it's like a 6.
Okay, I watched a movie yesterday.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna be disappointed. I watched 8 Men Out.
Okay.
Which is
a baseball movie.
A movie. Yeah, it's a movie about the 1919 Chicago White Sox. I think the only team in the Big Four professional sports to be found guilty of like intentionally losing their championship, or intentionally like as a team losing games.
The Shoeless Joe Jackson and all those guys, right?
Yeah, Shoeless Joe Jackson, Hap Felch, Buck Weaver, a bunch of guys. So I did some research. Some surprise, some liberties are taken with this movie. So it's basically like the story. I'm not going to tell the whole story. It's a long story, but the story is these guys, they were completely underpaid by Charles Comiskey, who was the owner of the White Sox at the time, and he was like a historic tightwad, and that's true. Like Charles Comiskey, known for underpaying his players. The only person that was paid properly on that White Sox team had been traded to the White Sox, and he came over with his contract. But because of that, gamblers were able to convince the best baseball team that ever lived to intentionally lose the World Series. And the movie, have you seen the movie?
No, I've never seen it. It's based on a book, right?
Yeah, by Elliot Asimov.
Yeah, so I've heard of the book, and I knew that they had made a movie. Does the movie have John Cusack in it?
John Cusack,
Okay.
Charlie Sheen, Christopher Lloyd,
It's a pretty good cast.
and other guys. Huh?
Pretty good cast.
Dude, and other guys who you would recognize that I don't know their names. And some guys that were like, this was the only time they were ever in a movie. But I like the movie. I've liked it my whole life. I've seen people like make fun of it in the past. But I like it a lot. It's just very interesting. Like they had to have protagonists on the team that were like in on the fix. Like
Right.
Shoeless Joe Jackson hit like 370 in the series, hit the series only home run, and didn't commit an error in the series. Still got thrown out of baseball for losing on purpose. That's true. Buck Weaver, same thing. He hit like 350 something in the series, didn't commit an error, got thrown out of baseball, and professed his innocence his entire life until he died. But I was reading up on it, and like, not only did all of them not only were all of them at least a little bit guilty, all 8 guys that got thrown out of baseball for life, but also they probably threw games in 1922.
Really?
Like, yeah, I didn't know this until last night, and I'm like a baseball guy my whole life.
Okay.
Like, there's so many like suspicious moments in 1920. Like their teammates the next year were like, this motherfucker's losing on purpose again. Like, including John Cusack's character, Buck Weaver, who was like the most sympathetic character. Well, him and Shoeless Joe were the 2 most sympathetic characters in the movie. But Buck Weaver was like the guy who, like, he never took a dime. He played his hardest. He was always like, during the games, he was like, come on, what the fuck are you doing? When people are losing on purpose. But they're like, he also didn't get a hit with anybody on base the entire series. Well, no, he got hits. He just didn't have it. I can't remember how many hits he had. He had no RBIs in the whole series. So like he might have just been really good at losing on purpose. But anyway, it's a very interesting movie. It was very interesting to see how they twisted reality for the movie.
Right.
But yeah, I enjoyed it.
Okay. Well, because there was like a famous gangster in New York.
Arnold Rothstein.
Yeah, that was the main guy.
He was the head of the Jewish mafia.
Yeah, he was
always the Jews.
He was a big character on Boardwalk Empire, the HBO show that I watched.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so
he was.
I remember watching that and him that character talking about fixing the World Series.
Yeah, it was like such a fixable World Series that it turned out that like 3 different crime syndicates were trying to get to the players at the same time to fix the World Series. So it makes me wonder how many series were actually thrown back then, if that was how prevalent it was in terms of it happening. But also, they were sharks in the water, man. They saw that these guys were underpaid, and they were such heavy favorites. It's a perfect storm to throw these games and make a bunch of money. And like Rothstein, basically, there was a boxer named Billy Maharg, and a former pro baseball player named Bill Burns, who's played by Chris Lloyd, who were trying to, like, they're small time guys, but they see an entrance here, so they're like trying to go in one direction. There's this bookie from Boston named Sport Sullivan, who is an American guy, but in the movie for some reason has like a weird Irish accent. But he offered the guys a bunch of money, but didn't have the money that he offered them, so he went to Rothstein, and Rothstein eventually got involved. And so there ended up being like 3 groups of guys who had to go to court for throwing the World Series because the players would just say yes to anybody, essentially. It was a really weird story.
They're just taking the money from anybody they could get it from, right?
Yeah.
Well, and so I guess winning the World Series would still have been a big deal, but it's not like the same thing, right? So it's like, if you can, like, people were playing professional baseball, but the money wasn't insane.
Yeah, it wasn't the same thing money-wise. It was very similar, if not more significant.
Like pride-wise?
Yeah, because baseball was huge back then, man. Baseball was the national pastime at the time. This was right before Babe Ruth. I mean, Babe Ruth was already in the league, but this was before he took over the world, and this was World War I era. This is, this is only 6 years after the Civil War, and the country baseball players were people's heroes, especially in local places. It's probably not as big as it is now because media is so big. Like these guys had to go into. There's a part where Rothstein told the players, the best pitcher on the White Sox, his name was Eddie Seacott, and he said if the fix is on, you hit the first batter of the series. And there's a scene where Rothstein goes into this room. It's like a big, like almost like a bingo hall with chairs set up, and there's a guy literally reading the ticker tape to everybody. That's how people would like go to the bar and watch a game.
Right.
They'd go and there'd be a guy getting just this long piece of paper, and he'd be like, Roush hit by a pitched ball, advances to first, and then everybody's like throwing their bet slips and all this shit. And yeah, Rothstein walks in, sees that hears that he hit the guy, and leaves. That's probably not a true thing, but it's cool to see like that's how people like found out what was happening in the games at the time.
Yeah, I guess I thought the radio, but like maybe it's 1919. I don't know how prevalent the radio is at that point.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah,
I don't know how all that worked.
That's cool. Yeah, do you think baseball's the easiest sport to fix? Or do you think
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Because it
has to look like you're trying.
You know what?
So
probably not.
Yeah.
Because you have to get you have to get more people involved. In something like boxing, you only really need one guy.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think about boxing.
But
like
to make it
in football, like if the quarterback decides he wants to throw the game, that's pretty easy.
So in football, you can get the quarterback. In baseball, if you were only going to get one guy, you'd probably get the pitcher, and they take him out pretty quickly. He could give up 6 runs and take out and give you a pretty good chance. But if you have the quarterback, if you have Tom Brady,
right,
you're gonna win that fucking game. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I don't know if baseball's the easiest one because it's like such a team. Like everybody has to contribute game. But if you can keep a secret, if everybody involved can keep a secret, it's probably pretty easy to throw almost any sport, right?
Yeah, I guess I was just thinking like football seems really easy if you have the quarterback because like baseball, it has to look like you're trying, and you can't control all of the variables in baseball. Like if you're trying to make it look like you're going to hit the ball, you might occasionally really hit the ball, and you don't know, like and getting 9 guys all on board, like you said, is a lot harder than one guy who touches the ball every single possession of the offense,
Yeah, it's pretty easy to swing and look like you're trying to hit the ball and miss, though, because you just swing and miss. Like, you just aim somewhere else and don't miss by 3 feet. And you know what I mean?
Right,
so,
and I guess if you're a pro, but I bet you're right, boxing's the easiest because you only, like you said, only one guy really has to decide that he's going to do it.
The guy who's going to lose, and if he's not an idiot, like because I've seen some like obviously fixed fights from like Russia and shit, and some of them just don't know how what they're doing. Like it's easier to fake lose a decision than fake lose a knockout because you have to look like you got knocked out, and a lot of guys you see flop around like they don't know how to take the fall.
Yeah.
But and I wouldn't know how to take a dive. Genuinely, like you don't know how to look like you're unconscious when you're falling to the ground.
Right.
Even pro wrestlers are bad at that most of the time. So, golf is really easy, but the problem with golf is you would just have to bet like this guy's not going to make the cut. You can't bet who's going to win. You can't fix the winner in golf because there's so many people involved.
Right.
You know.
Same thing with like
so race car, like
racing.
Yeah. So you'd have to take like a guy like Scotty Scheffler, like who's running golf right now, the best in the world. And he's probably like got crazy odds to make the cut every time. And you just pay him to not make the cut this time. You put a bunch of money on it and make a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, even like Rothstein was getting screwed by the other people involved because the Sport Sullivan guy took an advance from Rothstein that he was supposed to give to the players, and he put it all on bets on Cincinnati in the series, and then some of them got screwed over because they would bet individual games, and not everybody was in on the fix. So this rookie kid named Dickie Kerr threw a complete game shutout for the White Sox in Game 3, and they won like 2-0 or something like that.
Yeah,
and that ended up losing the gamblers a lot of money, and some of the money dried up because the White Sox won Game 3, and the game, like, it was a best of 9 series back in the day.
Oh, Jesus.
And this one went, I can't remember if it went 7 or 8 games. I think it went 8 games. The White Sox were so good. But yeah, I mean, they had, I think it was like, what was it? There's only like 2 players on the team that weren't either thrown out of baseball or ended up in the Hall of Fame or something like that.
So,
like, the team was really good.
As a baseball fan, do you think that, like, Shoeless Joe Jackson should be in the Hall of Fame since he didn't take any money?
I have a better case for, like, Buck Weaver, the other guy who definitely, well, this is the hard thing. Jackson might have taken money. I think Jackson might have taken some money. I think Jackson got paid, but then played really well. I think Buck Weaver might not have taken money, but he probably still did. That's the thing. It's like the amount of meetings that these guys went to get this done. Like, they went to the initial meeting, and then they went to a follow-up meeting after the first game where the players were asking for their money. And then, like, all these different, like, Jackson was at like 5 meetings about losing the World Series on purpose. And so was Weaver. And it's like, I don't know. I know it's like being one of the boys. You don't want to tell on your guys, especially in 1919, like, all this stuff. It's some sort of integrity thing, but it's like they were in a meeting in which it was admitted that the World Series was crooked, and they didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And it's like the commissioner who they appointed to take care of this, his name was Kennesaw Mountain Landis. He was he was an army guy in the Civil War, and he said, no player who conspires to lose a game, who takes money to lose a game, or who knows about people losing on purpose and doesn't say anything about it will ever play professional baseball again. And that was after they were acquitted in court. That's another thing. They all got acquitted in a court of law because it's a crime to fix a game,
right?
Because there's so much money involved in this, and they got acquitted. So, like, there's I don't know if the pictures exist, but they were the guys literally, like, threw a big party. They went to a bar. They took pictures outside the courthouse. They thought they were scot-free because they had already played a year of baseball after they got the 1919 World Series. They thought they were in the clear, and then Landis threw the banhammer down and kicked them all out of the game. And it sucks, man. Like, let me think. 1, 2, 3 or 4 of them probably would have been Hall of Famers. And some of them, like one guy, Fred McMullen, he never played. He was like a bench player, and he took money, was heavily involved in the planning, all that stuff. They paid him, supposedly. All the players got stiffed, by the way. No, some of the players barely made anything to do this because they were working with fucking criminals. And
if we can't trust Arnold Rothstein, noted gangster, who can we trust in this situation?
And that's the thing. It's like this is Fred McMullen. I don't think he played at all during the World Series, and he got paid to lose on purpose, and he got thrown out of baseball for it.
Yeah, so the 1919 World Series was best of 9, even though even at that point they were more normally doing best of 7. But they did best of 9 in 1903, 1920, and 1921 because the Major League Baseball decided that they wanted to try to increase the popularity of the sport and, of course, to generate more revenue. If there's more games, then you can charge people more money.
You're selling more tickets. Yeah.
More tickets. That is very interesting. So, what do you give the movie?
I give the movie like an 8.
Okay.
I think it's really coolly, like, I like period pieces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a lot of, like, old-timey music that I really enjoy in it. There's like a storyline that's mostly true. I think there might be like a fictionalized character in it of the reporters starting to get wind of what was going on and starting to ask questions and like starting to investigate during the series, like circling each player they thought were dirty and stuff like that. There's a scene where a reporter walks through the train that the players are in, and he starts singing this song about throwing ball games. That I don't know if it's a real song or if it's a song that in the story he had made up for that occasion or something. But the last line is like, "I'm forever blowing ball games, and the gamblers treat us fair." And all the players are just looking at him, and he tips his hat and walks out of the room. And like, it's just really, I don't know. It's like it's a look into like pre-1920s America. Like there's a storyline with two kids, one of them's like, and it's like to show the spirit, like the people that they let down basically. So there's like two kids that idolize these players. They live in Chicago. One of them they call him Buck after Buck Weaver because Buck's his favorite player, and like he keeps running into Buck in the town and asks him what's going on with the team. And like I think Cusack's really good in it. Charlie Sheen, it's an early Sheen. It's the same year as, what was the other Sheen movie that came out at that time? Hold on, I gotta look it up. It came out as the same year of another.
Is it before Major League? So he's been famous 2 times for baseball movies.
I think this is. This might be. I don't know. It's 1988. What year did Major League
Major League came out after. Not long after.
8 Men Out,
I think.
Young Guns.
Oh hell yeah!
8 Men Out and Young Guns the same year. So yeah, it's. I think it's a really good movie. I think they did. It's funny. Like they did a really good job of casting certain guys, and certain guys look nothing like they did in real life. And like Dickie Kerr was left-handed in real life. They had a right-handed actor portraying him. Oh, the dad from is it the dad from Frasier? Plays Kid Gleason, the manager.
I could say,
John Mahoney.
Yeah, it makes sense.
He was really good, really good in the movie. So it's a very they kind of, but the thing is, it's like there are some big historical inaccuracies in the movie, but it is a good, and there are some in the weeds, like really inside dope facts, but there are also some historical inaccuracies.
Let me ask you this: you watched the movie last night. I watched the movie today.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think that both of those movies had a Phantom Menace?
Rothstein.
If there were a commemorative cup for 8 Men Out, this is Rothstein right here with the eyes.
And I'll show you the guy who played Rothstein because he's got some eyes on.
Corruption is the Phantom. It's the true Phantom Menace. We all know that.
It's Michael Lerner. Do you know who that is?
The name sounds familiar. I don't know.
You've seen him before. I'll pull him up real quick.
But Major League, by the way, 1989.
After that.
So maybe they were like, "Hey, you've done a lot of baseball stuff the last couple weeks." Oh, okay, yeah. I am from.
Probably should have been the Penguin.
Yeah, could have definitely been a Penguin.
That's him in 8 Men Out as Rothstein.
Okay.
Which is funny because like there's a part where Arnold Rothstein's like talking about being bullied in his past, and he's like when I was a kid, when I wanted to be involved in anything, they'd just make fun of me because I was fat. They'd say, "Sit down, fat boy." And he's like, now those same guys, they come to me. They come to my office with their hats in their hands. I don't think Arnold Rothstein was fat. I think they wrote that in because Michael Lerner's fat.
Or like a lot of times, like I think people associate being fat with like being a gangster, like Capone.
Yeah.
And,
like Fat Tony.
Yeah, and of course the Fat Tony.
That's Arnold Rothstein.
Yeah, not doesn't at least from that picture doesn't look like a overweight man,
Honestly though, he might have been 1920s fat.
Oh sure, yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he doesn't look fat at all.
Yeah. He also looks like the Penguin. So
he's certainly ugly.
Yeah,
but I don't think
he could also be a Penguin man.
Yeah.
So what was I gonna? Oh, have you ever seen The Untouchables?
No.
The Kevin Costner, Robert De Niro movie about them going after Al Capone. If you, I think you might enjoy that. It was also made in the '80s, and it's like that.
Oh shit! It's got the stand-up bass guy from the Buddy Holly story in it. This guy.
Which guy? Oh yeah,
This guy.
that guy.
He's also an American Graffiti.
Also, right next to Sean Connery is Andy Garcia of Ocean's 11 and 12 and 13. So
that guy?
Yeah, that's Andy Garcia.
Not Bernard. That's not Bernard from the Santa Claus, is it?
We're working on different cultural reference points, but possibly. I
don't think it is because he'd be too old because the Santa Claus came out in the '90s.
But I think
his name's Andy Garcia.
Yeah, you might enjoy The Untouchables because it's got all similar elements to 8 Men Out, plus like a crazy De Niro performance. So
yeah, and I also want to see. I haven't seen Gangs of New York.
I recently rewatched it. Very good, long. So put that on the list. Like the next time that you don't feel well and like you need to lay on the couch and eat soup, that's Gangs of New York time.
And I also want to see Boardwalk Empire.
Boardwalk Empire, really really good for a while and then gets kind of silly, but I still liked it. Like
I like the old mobby. Like, and I gotta finish The Sopranos, bro. I got like 2.5 seasons into that and just stopped watching it, and I loved every minute of it.
And the rest of
the characters,
the rest of Breaking Bad is gonna have to.
The rest of Breaking Bad might be fucking. I don't know that. What I almost said that pooch might be screwed, but that's not the that's not the saying.
The goose might be cooked.
I don't know that ship. That goose might be cooked. That ship probably sailed.
The most underrated, low key, great character on The Sopranos to me is Tony's mom. She's like that. She's like the most evil person in the world. She's so good.
Her acting is incredible in it, but I fucking hate her.
Yeah, she's the worst. Have you seen? We're just gonna talk about, I guess, things we've seen or not. Have you watched Ted Lasso? Have you heard of?
I watched the first episode.
Okay,
and I enjoyed it.
It's very good. I'm me and Sarah on the last season. We just started it, and it's like really great character development. Like all the characters are very well rounded. I enjoy all of them. Like it's very well written. It's very good. So
okay.
Also on the
I like Sudeikis.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm worried that he's just gonna be that guy now.
There's not gonna. Oh yeah, yeah.
Jason Sudeikis, the person is going to become Ted Lasso, the character, and I don't want that to happen. But yeah, it's a really great TV character.
It would probably be good for his PR because he had a rough time with his Olivia Wilde relationship.
All of that.
I understand
all the fallout from that.
I got to go back to Eastbound and Down. That's the one that I really want to start again.
You're fucking out. I'm fucking in.
Dude, I haven't seen that much of it, but like it's right up my alley. I can't believe I haven't seen
truly unredeemable character. Danny McBride's the worst person in the it's sort of how It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is just like all of these characters, the most unlikable people, but they're unrepentant in their unlikableness, and so it's like it's so funny.
It's just It's just so funny
to think of it. Yeah, Eastbound and Down is really really good.
You want to hit some trivia?
Let's do the trivia. We'll get out of here because Andrew has to. Is this the retirement fight of one Jose Aldo?
I don't think it's confirmed retirement fight. He's already retired before, so I don't know if he said one more or not. But it is the King of Rio, and Andrew watches the King of Rio, Jose Aldo. So this is the Daily Dozen trivia by Barstool Sports. It's 9 questions on a grid. The first 3 are always sports. The rest are general American culture. We're going to start with NFL. After getting drafted 9th overall in 2012, this Panthers linebacker won Defensive Rookie of the Year and then Defensive Player of the Year in 2013. Is that Go ahead.
I believe that is Luke Kuechly.
Yeah. Is it Luke?
I think so.
Yeah. I was like a Keichler, Kuchler. I couldn't remember his name.
Rosenbaum.
Rosenbagger. After a star-studded college career at Kentucky, Kenny Skywalker. God damn it. His last name is Walker. Okay. Played for this East team that is still currently active in the playoffs from 1986 to 1991 and won the 1989 dunk contest. Do you know who's still currently active in the NBA playoffs?
No.
Let's go Boston. Let's go the Boston
Sure.
Celtics. Wrong. All right. That's it.
Well,
Hope Solo was controversially benched in favor of veteran Brianna Scurry during America's 4-0 loss to the South American team in the 2007 Women's World Cup semifinals.
well,
You got an idea?
yeah,
Brazil or Argentina, probably.
If it's soccer, I always just go Brazil
right.
as my default. Hey,
look at us.
Brazil is good at soccer.
Cars. In 2011, what German automobile manufacturer aired a popular Super Bowl advertisement featuring a kid in a Darth Vader costume?
It's got a.
Any idea?
I mean, Volkswagen.
Volkswagen. Let's go Volkswagen.
Yeah. The Happy Gilmore.
It's either Volkswagen or what else do we got? We got BMW is German.
Yeah.
German.
I don't know any other.
Ex-Volkswagen.
Oh, okay. Volkswagen's the only one I think.
That is Neil Patrick Harris. And Queen Amidala. Natalie Portman?
Yeah, but wait. If they're Star Wars, they're all Star Wars related. So do you think it's...
What do you mean they're all Star Wars related?
Well, Luke Kuechly, Skywalker.
So is that Hayden Christensen?
That would be my guess.
All right. If it's Neil Patrick Harris, I'm shutting the studio down. But I think you're right. Look at us.
Yeah, because Hope Solo, right?
That's why we got Kenny Skywalker.
That's why we got Kenny Skywalker, yeah.
What was the NFL one?
Luke.
Oh, Jesus Christ. In Brazil, Hope Solo.
Hope Solo,
okay, yeah. That's what we're talking about. In 1999, what major soda brand launched Phantom Menace themed vending machines? Pepsi?
Yeah, I mean, it's Pepsi or Coke, I guess, right?
And
or Sprite.
You got Pepsi in your cup.
I got Pepsi in the Phantom Menace cup. Let's check it out.
I'm gonna be so we're double dipping Coca-Cola if this isn't Pepsi,
if it's not right.
If it's not.
Hey, spell Pepsi, huh?
Nailed it. Shut up. Look at us. Oh wait, you sent this. Did you do this today?
I did do this one, yes.
Oh, okay.
But I've only guessed the ones that I already knew.
So. All right, because you did pretty well on this one. So NBA is the one that fucked you.
So I didn't give you the answer.
Oh fuck!
Because
you got everyone, but NBA.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get the same thing you got.
Well, unless you make a different guess.
I know, but you're on the team. If you would have gotten it, remember,
right.
If you get it,
Yeah.
Since 2005, Seth Green has been one of the creators of this Adult Swim stop motion. This is Robot Chicken. Adult Swim stop motion animated sketch comedy that's featured multiple Star Wars themed sketches and episodes. Robot Chicken. Robot Chicken has had some really funny Star Wars themes.
Yes. Robot Chicken, that's the thing to say about Robot Chicken. It's had some really funny things. But also like not everything. You know.
Yeah, it's hit and miss. It's hit and miss. But it's done some very, very funny ones. In Kevin Smith's directorial debut, the main characters from this 1994 black and white comedy set in a convenience store discuss the politics of the Death Star. This is Chasing Amy. I'm just kidding. This is Clerks.
That's Clerks. It's got to be Clerks.
Music. This legendary composer worked on the score for the 9 primary Star Wars films and won the Oscar for original score for Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. A New Hope. Is it John Williams?
That is John Williams.
Old Johnny Williams?
Yep.
Okay, so I would have gotten the mashup wrong. Let's double dip, try the NBA.
Okay.
Fuck.
You have to do it because I know the answer.
I have to do it. You know the answer. I don't know who's I don't you know?
That's just a lot of syllables.
Philadelphia 76ers. Wrong.
Yeah. So I guessed the 76ers. And got it wrong. It's the Knicks.
It's the Knicks.
And then on beverage, I guessed Coke originally, and then with my double dip, I got Pepsi. So,
okay.
But
why does it say we got 2 incorrect?
Because we double dipped, and we got the double dip wrong twice.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
All right, movie to movie. So listen. Let me look at this. I would have gotten. I think I would have eventually found Kaikli because I would have started spelling.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think I would have guessed Argentina on this, but double dip might have been Brazil. Not going to give it to myself. Cars would have gotten Volkswagen. Mashup would have went with Neil Patrick Harris because I didn't notice it was all Star Wars shit by now. Would have got. I picked Pepsi. Robot Chicken got that one. I would have done okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done as well as you did.
One of these days, I'm going to get the whole goddamn thing right, and then that's the day I retire from doing the Daily Dozen.
You think you're going to retire?
Yeah. No, probably not because I like trivia. You know,
we're going from Shoot 'em Up to Bordello of Blood.
Oh shit. Okay.
Two staples in our daily lives. Have you seen either of these?
I've seen Shoot 'em Up for sure. I definitely wanted to watch Bordello of Blood, but I never did.
So we've got in Shoot 'em Up. So we're trying to get from one movie to another movie with using people who are in movies together, and you'll figure it out as we do it if you're still listening. So Shoot 'em Up has Clive Owen, Monica Bellucci, Paul Giamatti, Stephen McHattie, which is not a name. That's not a name. Greg Brick, Daniel Pylon, and then nobody else has pictures.
You know what Greg
Tony Munch, bro.
You know what Greg what's his name?
Greg Brick, bro.
No, you know what Stephen McHattie?
House.
You know what Stephen McHattie probably is? Grill Daddy.
Stephen McHattie, Grill Daddy. That's we're pitching that.
He'll be the
sitcom.
spokesman. Dennis
Miller. Erica Eleniak, Angie Everhart, Chris Sarandon, Corey Feldman, the Fell Dog, William Sadler, Aubrey Morris, Phil Fondacaro.
Do you think he was going around the set singing Ezekiel's Wheel? Just ruining
Ezekiel. He was just on The Masked Singer. I have to see what he sounded like.
No. I think we got to start Bordello of Blood because I don't know how to get to.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. The only thing that I know that Paul Giamatti was in is Spy Kids, or is it Agent Cody Banks?
Yeah. Well,
he was an agent.
If we
Cody
get
Banks.
Dennis, so start with Dennis Miller, I guess.
Can you get me to Joe Dirt?
Yeah, that's essentially what I'm thinking because I don't know anybody else that's in this Bordello of Blood movie.
Is Christopher Walken in anything with Clive Owen, Monica Bellucci, or Paul Giamatti? Or Stephen McHattie for that.
No, but Owen Wilson might be. Owen Wilson or Vince Vaughn. Okay, so go Clive Owen. Let's start with Clive Owen because he's the most famous.
Oh, so we're going from Shoot 'em Up.
Yeah, because I didn't think about the other sort of way
Clive
we could
Owen
go.
was in him, Gemini Man, The Informer, Ophelia, Anon. I'd probably go a little bit further back, right? Let's go back here. The Bourne Identity.
Okay.
Let me think. Ticker, Beat the Devil. Why do all these have the same? Anyway. King Arthur, Closer, Sin City. The Pink Panther, Inside Man, Children of Men, Shoot 'em Up. The International, Duplicity. The Boys Are Back, Trust, Intruders, Killer Elite. I feel like I need to go a little bit further back, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who's in a comedy that.
The Turnaround, The Return of the Native, Doomsday Gun, An Evening with Gary Lineker, Nobody's Children, Century, Class of
those are
61,
all
The Magician.
British movies.
We're starting to get back to bullshit movies, huh?
So, okay, let's just go Bourne Identity. And we go with Matt Damon.
I'm looking. Hold on.
Or if you have
Let's see what we got here. We got Walton Goggins. So we're trying to get who's in this one that we're trying to get to?
Dennis Miller.
Dennis Miller.
So I'm trying to get to Sandler probably via a couple of places, you know.
Yeah, getting to Sandler is a good idea. Damon. How does Damon? I'm sure Damon gets to Sandler.
Yeah.
Has Damon been in any movies with any of the grown-ups guys?
That's what I have to see the movies, but I'm
Chris Rock.
Yeah.
If I click Damon, am I pot committed to Damon, or can I go back?
We can go back, but I got it. So we'll go with Matt Damon.
Oh, okay.
And then we go to Dogma,
Matt Damon. Chris Rock.
which has Chris Rock in it.
Yep.
Oh, Chris Rock.
And then you go to Grown Ups.
Yep. Spade.
With Spade. Who's
Joe
in
Dirt.
Dirt, with Dennis Miller.
Yep.
Who's in Bordello of Blood. Okay.
We know your name, Dirt.
Bro. We know your name, Dirt. That's a space peanut.
And we made it. We made it before 6. That's the rule, you know.
So Shoot 'Em Up. Clive Owen is in Shoot 'Em Up and The Bourne Identity. He's in Bourne Identity with Matt Damon, who's in Dogma with Chris Rock, who's in Grown Ups with David Spade, who's in Joe Dirt with Dennis Miller, who's in Bordello of Blood.
Yep.
Shortest Possible is Clive Owen was in The Confirmation with Tom Pickett, who's in the Bordello
of course.
of Blood.
How did I forget about?
Who cares?
How did I forget about The Confirmation?
There should be a Shortest Possible. By the way, here's the Shortest Possible that you had any chance of getting.
Yeah, like, well, we also did it this time impressively without using any of the Marvel movies. There's a setting on here where you can turn off Marvel movies as a possibility to make it hard.
That's funny because they're on to Kai.
Yeah,
that's what
to make
it
it harder on yourself, because it's a really easy way to get to, or not really easy, but like that's a pretty surefire way to get somewhere, you know, unless you're like Clive Owen and you haven't been in any of the Marvel movies, impossibly.
He's got artistic integrity.
He has autistic integrity.
Yeah, I said that on purpose.
But
let's get back to fucking Squashbuckler.
Yeah. Let's not point the camera back at me. We don't have to. You know? All right. We want to get Andrew out of here at a decent time so he can watch his fights. We appreciate everybody who listens. We're going to put this out tomorrow because we care about the listener and the turnaround time. You know, we want you to have it for Sunday, for the Lord's Day. So we appreciate everybody who listens. Thank you. Like Andrew said at the top, do the things that Andrew asked you to do at the top. You know, smash that like and subscribe. Follow us on some stuff. Watch for reels and clips of me with my CPAP mask on if you want to follow that journey. And generally just, you know, be good to each other. Andrew?
Yeah. Be nice to each other. Don't do drugs. Unless it's like prescribed by a doctor.
Yeah. Unless it's sweet, sweet oxygen while you're sleeping.
What? That's the best drug.